do when you encounter street dogs and how to deal with them. So, the first part is, why are we talking about this topic? Why did we choose street dogs? Well, we live in Vietnam, and as everybody knows, it's a very common occurrence to run into a dog when you're walking your dog. So we're giving this talk to help you guys with some safety. I hope to reduce your overall stress when you're out on the streets. And we're going to try and give you some advice on how to avoid dog fights. Okay? So I'm sure everybody's had some sort of incident if you've been out walking dogs here. I know I have, but the main part about it today that I'd like you to take away is we're going to talk about how street dogs think. All right, so how do they think? Interesting fact, I'm a dog trainer, and you are more likely to get bit by somebody's pet than you are a street dog. So I've got bit by way more pets than I have street dogs. Street dogs are usually non-aggressive, and they're more territorial. So when you're walking by and you have 3 dogs run out of a house and they're barking at you, if you could translate it to English or Vietnamese or whatever your first language is, they're basically saying, get off my street, get off my street, get off my street, and then they leave you alone, right? So it's all this territory, you're in my area, and they want you gone because they are survivors. If you are a street dog, you have seen the worst of the worst things usually happen to other dogs, and they are smart enough to know the consequences of certain things. So they will rarely come to bite you, and I will tell you the signs to recognize when that is about to happen in a while. But mostly they're just saying, get out of here. We're going to talk a bit about the body language of street dogs, because if there's one thing that I could really recommend you get better at, it's understanding how dogs are talking. And they don't talk through barking, they talk through body language. It's mostly through body language. And they're experts at reading body language. We're okay. We're not great, but they're experts. The reference I always like to give, we can spot it pretty good. If you and your partner are at a party across the room, how much does your partner need to raise their eyebrows or just move here before you can see it? It's tiny, right? Before you notice it. Dogs can see that thousands of times better. So when you're talking to a dog, your body position like this, and leaning into a dog like this are very different, just that. You don't even have to raise your voice, it's just your body. So, recognizing street dogs' body language. Where's my dog? Nova, you can see when she comes up to you, she's always soft. Her body's always soft when she's approaching people and relaxed. Her tail is usually up. And her body is always relaxed. If you see a street dog, generally when they're barking at you, they're very stiff. Their body is dead still, stiff, and that's telling you that, like, I'm ready for anything, all right? If Lola runs up to you, she's like, hey buddy, what's up? And you know that that's very, diffusing, okay? So, when you're interacting with street dogs, you're always looking at them from a distance and judging their body language. Let's see the other part of this. So,
Yeah.
how to prevent issues on the street. Number 1, look where you're going, okay? This is not a city where you can walk around like this with your dog for the most part, okay? There's street food hazards, there's dogs around, there's all sorts of hazards that we need to be aware of as dog owners. So we need to pay attention about what's happening. Look in front of you. Do you see dogs up ahead? If you do, your body language now comes into play. Okay? Have I got a leash in the way? Let me show you something. Look for this next time you're out. You'll see dog owners walking. And sometimes the owner will see another dog, and this part does this. Straight away. The hand goes up. And this arm is stiff. Now the leash is stiff and it's tight around your dog. And your dog starts to go, why are you stressed? I can read your body language. Now you're stiff. What's wrong? Is it that dog? Okay? So it's up to us to remain loosey-goosey, relaxed when we're on our walk. So we're looking ahead, we're looking for any dogs, things like that. If you are a naturally anxious person or you are worried about street dogs, option one is always cross the street. Give the dog space, okay? Give them as much space as you can. The next thing you're going to do, and this is quite important, is you're going to position your dog on the opposite side of where the dog is, right? So the dogs are the bun, you are the burger. So the dog is over there, your dog is on this side, and we're looking where we're going. You're using your peripheral to watch what's happening on the outside. It's pretty much the same as when you're driving a motorbike. You're looking where you're going, you all the rest of the stuff here is your processing. So you're keeping an eye on the dog, you're looking that way, and you're going, and you're keeping your body relaxed. Okay, let's not try stiff enough. Keep moving. It's very, very important if you're a naturally anxious person. You don't need to challenge these dogs, guys. It's not going to help the situation. It could only escalate the situation. So the option is always, let's just move on, because once we move on, the territorial dogs have done their job, so they relax and they leave you go. If you are approached, so there's a couple of scenarios that might happen. Number one, the dog might simply walk up to your dog, not necessarily run at you, making a load of noise, might just run out, up to your dog. You would have seen similar meetings here today. Dogs meeting each other for the first time, and they have a little sniff. The correct way most dogs will do it, they will go nose to butt, because nose to butt is a handshake. Eye contact, eye to eye, in the animal kingdom is usually, let's go fight, right? Challenge, right? So, street dogs will often run up at you. The thing you need to look for are a couple of things. The hackles on the back of the dog, right here. If they're raised up, the dog is in a state of alertness, right? They're not happy or unsure or nervous or anxious about this situation. The next one, the one that's the most obvious, the dog is running at you with all the teeth out, like this. This generally means I have bad intentions, okay? But this is quite a rare case. I walk dogs every day, and I I could probably count on two hands in 2 years the amount of times that this has happened to me. It will generally happen in a very dense area with hens like bit-tan or DT or D5, right? Around here, you've got lots of space to sit. So, you keep calm, take a big breath, the hippie stuff. That relaxes your body, guys. This is super important. A lot of people just go, no, and they keep going, but you're going with a stiff body. The dogs can see that. This is important where you stop, shorten your leash. Okay, good. Boom, and we go. So now you're relaxed again. You've reset your position with your body. Another thing I see a lot of people do that I don't recommend, unless I just don't recommend it, is if the dog is running at your dog, if you pick up your dog, if you take something away and that dog wants it, it's going to come up at you. Okay? It's the same thing when you go to give a dog a treat. You can see people do this, the dog jumps up, because the dog is I'm going to go to it. Okay, cool, boom. So if you pick up your dog, it can escalate things and have the street dog actually come up at you, which is what you don't want to do. Why use, yes?
Then how about like pulling your dogs away? Is that okay?
So what you're going to do is you're going to use you as a blocker.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to get your dog over here. Go. You can, if it gets really bad, push it away with your foot with some force. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And another thing is, if you have had incidents in the past and you are stressed about that kind of thing, you can bring something with you as a blocker, like an umbrella, right? Now dog's running at you, just open the umbrella, you can keep the dog away, you can get your dog, and you can move out of there. It's really important that you keep your dog safe, but it's also important that you keep your body language calm. You can handle this situation. As I said, most of them, if you remember this, most of them are telling you, get out of here. That's all it is. So a lot of people here have smaller dogs. People with smaller dogs generally feel like I really have to protect my dog. Street dogs are generally not small, they're more medium. So when you have a smaller dog, it makes you want to be more protected. So it's important to do the right things, stay calm, use your peripherals, and move on. Most of the time, street dogs just want you out of it. I said this at the start, but this is another thing. Let your dogs, or let the dogs, speak to each other. Often people come in their panic and remove dogs from not necessarily a bad situation because they feel nervous or scared. Dogs are talking to each other, let them talk to each other. It's your chance to learn dog body language. This is a dog I see every day. I know my dog is okay with this dog. Cool, all right, say hi guys. And I'm watching. This dog, tail is happy, body's loose. I know my dog is, right? So they say hi. All right, cool, little sniff. All right, cool, see you later. Boom, and we're gone. If I say, okay, let's say hello to this dog, and we walk up to it, and the dog is giving whale eye, which is where they open the eye as wide as they can, like this, that's generally not a good sign. Right? That's a sign to leave me alone. So if that combined with a dead stiff dog, and the tail is stiff, I'm not doing that today. Because I know I'm reading the body language, and that's telling me that that dog is not too comfortable with this situation. And with a friendly dog like mine who has high energy, this is not going to go well. So she's going to go, let's play. And that dog's going to, nope. And it could end up in a dog fight. So it comes to reading the dog's body languages and then avoiding it if necessary, or short, positive interactions. You can build on it. So first time you meet a street dog and you think this guy is okay, 5-10 seconds. That's all we're doing. We're spending 5-10 seconds right here, watching, no problems. Okay, let's go, good job. And I'll give my dog a little treat. You did great today. I'll see the dog the next time, maybe 15-20 seconds. And then the next day, we'll build it up to a minute, and then I know that these dogs are pretty cool. But it's all building. I don't let them just hang out, because what will happen if they start playing, their energy goes like this, then this dog goes here, and this dog goes here, 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 dog fight. With the energy, they go off each other, bouncing, bouncing, bouncing up, and then it happens as a dog fight. So short, positive meetings at the beginning are the best way forward. And then, if it all does go wrong, if there is an incident, here's what to do after care, very simply. One thing I would recommend, if you are not trained, don't reach in to a dog fight, because they're so much faster and they only use their teeth. You will get bitten. So the thing I recommend is have your leash on your dog, right? You're going to pull your dogs apart, and then you're going to get out of there as quick as you can, using your body or your umbrella or a stick or whatever you have with you to get out of the situation. If you reach in, you will be bitten. If you hear the story of stick your finger up the dog's bum, good luck with trying to find a bum in the middle of a fight. Okay, you got to find the tail, and you got to lift it up, and it's not happening. Okay, so get your dog, pull the leash, get out of there, and get the situation over.
Big thing is, if your dog is on a leash, you have 100% control of the situation.
Yep.
If your dog is not on a leash, you have 0 control of the situation.
And if your dog is off leash without even a collar, you're not going to catch it. So you see my dog has a collar on her all the time. And so if there is something and she doesn't have a leash on, I'll grab that at least, and then I'll just yank her, and we're going to get out of there and clip the leash on, and we're gone. So dogs can be naked in the house, at home, take their collar off, let them relax. If they're outside, I would recommend keeping a collar on them, especially with your name and your number, all right? And if there is an incident, something does happen, take your dog to the vet. Escape artist here. Take your dog to the vet, get them checked out. But this is very, very important, guys. Dogs only live in the present. Okay? I had this happen with me about a month ago in a dog training session. Your dog, if it has a bad experience, please do not baby your dog. Don't, oh my baby, I'm so sorry, and you're encouraging the state of mind that your dog is in, which is a negative state of mind. Your dog can be switched quickly by getting their focus on you, re-engaging your dog, and asking them to do something. So the example is, I was doing a dog training session with, maybe you remember May?
Yep.
So May became reactive to other dogs. We went up to the park, we met a street dog. I know the street dog. I said, let's see what happens. May went up. Within 3 seconds, fight kind of started. They yanked May away, and May was crying like, "Woo, woo, woo." So the owners were very like, oh my God, oh my God. I said, no, 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 watch this. May, come, sit, good girl. And I just got her to do 2, 3 commands. So the tail was happy. Her state of mind, back, a positive state of mind, and because they only live in the present, she's not going to be like, oh, that happened to me 2 hours ago and I feel so sad still. They can't do that. They can't think about what happened last week. They're not planning what they're doing next week. That's the beautiful part about dogs, guys, is they can teach us to be more present right now. And then when we're with them, we're with them. And when they're with us, they're only with us. So they're such a beautiful animal that way. Just remember, if you have an incident, get your dog's attention, get it back on you, and ask it to do something, re-engaging with you, and you will switch it back to, okay, mom's here, dad's here, we're having a good time. Okay? So the incident becomes a lot less. Are there any questions? We're going to have a few minutes of questions and answers because I'm sure people have had incidents that they might want to ask about or what to do here. And yeah, Libby, you can start.
So when I'm walking our shelter dogs, obviously in Thao Dien there's lots of big villas with big gates and there's lots of dogs behind those gates. So I can be walking these 2 dogs, for example, and when I pass those houses and those dogs are going, woo, if their dogs are with me,
Yeah.
they will just keep walking with me. They will not even glance. However, if they're walking, like Snowy, for example,
Yeah.
when Snowy walks with me, no problem. But when he walks with some of the other volunteers and they go past those houses on that back street, he becomes very reactive.
Mm-hmm.
So why are they okay with me? And I get that I'm a confident walker.
Yeah.
And not okay with them. Is that the person that's walking them that's causing him to do that?
Yeah, well, so it's a great question. You're obviously a very experienced dog walker, and Libby knows the area, so she knows the dogs are there. In her head, she knows dogs are going to bark at this gate when I get up to here. You might not know if the dogs are going to react, but you know the gate is going to be barking. So you're not tensed up when it happens. Your body language is relaxed. And you go, hey, hey, ignore them, leave it, let's go. Whereas people who are less experienced with those dogs, maybe they don't know the area, and they're just happily walking these 2 dogs, and all of a sudden, they stiffen up their body. If their body language changes, dogs read it very, very quickly and react very quickly. They can also, as you know, they live through their nose, super strong. They can smell when you change and become more stressed. They can smell your cortisol change. So the dog knows that this other person is either more tense, their body language is different, and they react to try to protect them. With you, Libby,
Because sometimes I get a surprise
Really
when
relaxed.
people come back with the dog and they're like, oh,
it's scary.
he
and
was
difficult,
barking at everyone. Cyril is one of our volunteers, and also Ashley and that as well. And I feel really bad because I think I've given them an easy dog to walk, and they come back and they're like, oh, he was barking at everything and reactive, and I'm like, really? Really?
Yeah, sometimes
So
it really,
it's purely to do with that person's responses.
yeah. Everybody who's going to ever walk a dog should be taught to just take a big breath. People say like, oh, it's hippie stuff. It's not. It's really important. Now you're relaxed. Okay, let's go for a walk together, right? So it really helps when you relax your body And try not to stiffen up and tense the leash.
I've got another question for you. So, Thais, is she still here? Oh yeah, Thais is here. So they just adopted Thao.
Yeah?
So when they got Thao, she had just finished her vaccinations. So she'd had 0 leash training at the shelter. How do you suggest leash training, or how do you suggest like introducing puppies for the first time to go out for a walk? Because people keep asking me this question and I'm wondering whether I'm giving the right advice or not.
So the way I like to do it is with puppies. They're brand new in the world. They don't understand any of this at all. No traffic, no motorbikes, no noises. So it's really important to just get them outside. Get puppies desensitized to all the noise and stuff we live here. Do you want your puppy to walk like a robot next to you? Not right now. Now is explore time, right? So most of the time you're going to be outside. It's going to be carefully letting the puppy explore the world. What I suggest you do is 5 minutes of leash training when you're outside. What you're doing with a puppy is trying to teach the puppy to look to you and to follow you. How do you get a puppy to follow you? You go backwards and you go small. They start to come with you, right? So trying to get your puppy to walk right here, you can go into intensive training and you can do it, but there's so many other interesting things for the puppy right now. Their attention is very difficult to keep for a long time because they're just like, I've never smelled that before, I've never seen that before, what does that taste like? So very short leash training sessions, 5 minutes of just come follow me with the leash on. Okay, follow me this way. Trying to get the puppy the idea of follow the owner is what the idea is. And you can do this with any age dog. It doesn't need to be a puppy. Teaching a dog to walk with you nicely is teaching the dog to look to you as the leader. You're going to bring me somewhere where you're going to let me sniff, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a dog there. Right? It's really important. Let the dogs do dogs. Any other questions?
I do.
Yes, please.
So, strays obviously aren't vaccinated.
Correct.
So when I'm walking my dogs and I see some strays and they're barking on the other side of the road and then they come over, they don't come close, but I get panicked and I don't pick them up, but I do try and walk fast and I pull them through. These guys are not, making eye contact. They look really happy and they just want to play. But is it right for me to just pull them along, or what do I do in that?
Your dogs are vaccinated, right?
They are.
So they're okay?
Yeah.
1 is lying down, relaxing. 7 is where it starts getting crazy. 8 is where they do this with their teeth, just a little bit. 9 is where you might get scratched with their teeth. 10 is where you will get a puncture from a bite, but then the dog goes, I did not mean to do that. But we let the dog get too crazy, right? So just think about that energy scale. When you see your dog at a 7, they can play at a 7 for another minute or 2.
Okay.
And then we're going to put the leash on and come back over here, refocus, sit, look at me. Hold the treat between you. This is a really good trick. Get your dog to calm down quickly. Hold something valuable between you and the dog's eyes, like that. And just go sit, then go. And just watch your dog focus and chill, focus and chill. And then when they're calm, okay, now go play again, because he's at a 2, or she's at a 2.
Right.
You're managing the energy level, right?
Thanks.
You want something? You want to show people some tricks? Sit, spin, sit, down, roll over, sit, touch, nose, good girl. There you go. So, it's about us, again. And trusting your dog to be a dog, right? If they're friendly dogs, your dogs are friendly dogs. They're not anxious. Have to be dogs for a minute. It's good for them. Socialization with good dogs. It's good for them. Any questions over here? Yes, sir.
So we're working in a hospital, and that we're trying to have a perfect schedule for our clients' dogs or our patients. Like, how many times of a dog walk consider a good walk? Like, and how long of the time?
How long?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this kind of weather that we have here, our company, my company that I have, we walk 30 minutes for a short walk, 45 minutes for a long walk. Okay. It really depends on the breed as well. So if you have a flat-faced dog like a Frenchie, or something that doesn't have a snout, 30 minutes is usually good because they're hot, right? If you have something more energetic, say like my one, you can do 45 minutes, an hour, then lots of water. Take a break when the dog is tired as well. But 30 minutes for a dog like yours is good. If they want to go more, give them more. The important thing to remember, this is a good thing, when you're outside with your dog, it's your dog's time, right? So you allot your dog 30 minutes, an hour, but this is the only time they get to go outside when you decide to go outside, okay? So let them have fun, let them be dogs safely. Safely. So a good schedule is wake up, go outside for a pee. Dogs on the move. If you can do a morning walk of 30 minutes, great. If you can, quick lunchtime pee, depending on the age of your dog, and then a nice evening walk. That can be 30 minutes to an hour, whatever you choose. And then for her, there's a quick 9, 10 o'clock pee break, and then back inside. So 2 walks, and if you can, 2 pee breaks. That would be sufficient enough for most dogs. Unless you have something crazy like an Australian Shepherd or a cat dog. It's a lot more work. No, never regards.
All of our dogs at the shelter have 2 walks a day, usually between 20 to 30 minutes, which when you've got like 35 dogs to walk. Yeah. So Cyril, who's one of our volunteers for dog walking, and Ashley and Ty's that have been there, so we've got sometimes at one stage we had 42 dogs. So 42 dogs without cages or kennels. Once they've had their breakfast or dinner and been for their walk, what do, Cyril? They just chill.
Yep.
So imagine having 42 dogs and they weren't going outside at all.
Yeah.
And we have a nice place, like we're on the river, we have a nice view and things like that. But people, when they come, they're all so relaxed. Like, why? And I said, because they've been for a walk, they've had their breakfast, and this is their downtime.
Yep.
But if they didn't do that, we'd have 42 very crazy dogs.
Most behavior problems in dogs, like barking and chewing and all this kind of stuff, can be negated, really reduced with more exercise. More time outside, more sniffing, right? Because it gets rid of the brain energy. You've got the physical, which is walking, and the mental, you have to get rid of the mental. So if it's sniffing, if it's games, if it's training, all these things reduce the amount of energy in your dog's brain and less problems that way. Way less problems. Any questions over there? Yes?
So we have the small pups.
Yeah.
They are just very scared of the big dogs.
Right.
Even the very friendly neighborhood dogs.
Right, yeah.
So when those dogs comes, they often tuck their tail and try to run. And then the neighborhood dog, they are friendly and they just come after the dog.
Yeah.
So what do you...
So the way to do that then is through desensitization, right? So you have your dog on a leash. I have my dog on a leash, who's a big dog. You want to try to get more time around bigger dogs safely from a distance. So how it would work is, let's just say your dog is there and my dog is here. I have my dog on a leash. Is your dog calm? Okay, cool. Go a step closer. Sit. Is your dog calm? Yeah. Okay, cool. Go a step close. No, not calm here. Okay, we go back there. We just hang out here. As soon as your dog is relaxed and it's staying relaxed, get a treat. Good job. This is a good job, buddy. You're doing great. Are they relaxed? Let's try again. Oh, cool. Okay. Slowly, slowly, slowly. But it has to be with a dog who is bigger, obviously, and friendly as well. Right? So a calmer dog. Like Lova's very calm. She's very energetic, but she's very calm. Lova. See? So I could stay here with Lova, right? And your dog is calm. Great. Fantastic. Sit. Sit there. Is your dog calm here? Okay, Lova, come. Sit. Stay here. Calm. Cool. Give your dog. Lova, legs. Over here. Sit. Good. So the way is desensitization from distance and then slowly getting closer. That's what we do. All good?
In the meantime, what should we do about the neighborhood dogs? Like they have the huge German Shepherds and
What neighborhood do you live in? They have all these massive dogs running around.
yeah.
Where is it?
The neighborhood dog, it just belongs to the village.
It's in District
District
7.
seven?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know where it is. But
It's not Roxy.
no. How are you when you see the big dog? What is your feeling?
Terrified. Bingo.
Bingo.
We're just gonna go. Let's go. Go.
I had one woman stop me one day. I was walking 6 dogs, 3 dogs in each hand. And she had one dog, and she was really struggling to walk that one dog past a house where the dog was barking. And she stopped me and said, "How do you do that?" And I said, "I have no fear of that dog behind the gate." So if you're terrified of that German Shepherd, your dogs feel that as well. So I know it seems like hocus pocus, but honest, when I was Hang has not walked dogs before, and I was talking to her and her husband on the walk, and he had Oreo like that. And I said, "Relax your arm down, take a breath." And I said to Hang when Oreo was like nervous, just stand still for a minute and you will feel the leash relax. So this is not a dog that is nervous or scared. This is not a dog that is nervous or scared. They are reacting to you, not to the German Shepherd. So you've been to the shelter. You've come in when all the dogs are barking and that, and you've been okay with that. So you have to like harness some of that feeling as well. Do you understand?
Yeah, sure. But sometimes I'm not sure because I see my pups got scared of all the big dogs.
Because you're scared of the big dogs.
So here's the tip, right?
It's
When
hard
you
to
see the big
feel
dogs,
it.
shorter leash. Keep your dog closer to you. Take a big breath. Let's go.
Frank.
Because if you just get moving, your dog has no choice but to get moving with you and feels that you're relaxed and you're walking and they go, "Okay, cool, we're just going to go. Don't let the dog say hello. Get good. Short leash, staying calm, and going by them for a lead. Once you get by them, you can work on the other parts.
The worst thing you can do as well is use one of these leashes. If you're nervous when you're walking the dogs or you're nervous about bigger dogs, because that gives your dog way too much freedom and it allows the bigger dog, etc., to get all wrapped up in the leash. So, see, Oreo, see now, Oreo. So, see how I have a knot in her leash? So she's a nervous dog when she's out on the street. She's still getting used to being in new areas and walking on the street. So having that knot, and when I walk her, I hold the leash like this. I'm never holding it really tight. Sometimes it's just 2 fingers. So just having that knot allows me to have some control over her. Even if you can do some slip leash training as well, will make it easier. But having that knot allows me to move her right beside me as I'm passing a dog. So if she's nervous that there's a dog there, and she is a nervous dog, I just hold her beside me and walk past that dog. So having her loose like that, she's going to be behind me, wrapping around me, because she's trying to get away from the big dog. So then all of a sudden I'm like this, and so a quick knot in the leash and then just put her on the inside of you so the big dog is on the outside, and just keep walking past, looking forward.
The knot is a game changer because at any point you know where. You should set the knot where your foot lands. If you set it any further, what happens is the dog can go out too far and then it can cross your path, and then you know you can get wound up. If you're moving, like going, keep the knot where your arm is naturally like this, and now you can walk normal. You have the knot, so you know where you're grabbing. You can talk to the dog, easy, like that.
Putting a knot in that leash will make a really big difference. So then if the German Shepherd's over there, you just simply adjust to the knot and keep moving. Also, it allows you to pick up their front feet and keep them moving. So if a dog is reluctant to walk, if you just pick up their front feet, they have no choice but to walk with you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening to me ramble on, and I hope you found some of it very useful. Just remember, street dogs are only territorial. Keep it calm, take a big breath, less leash, less problems, and keep moving.
And on behalf of Laws for Paws Vietnam, I want to thank Mark.
Thank you.
He and his company have been a community partner of ours for such a long time, and honestly, we couldn't get by without him. And I want to thank everyone for coming today and supporting us as well. Dude. So he's excited because there's a dog with balls.
Yeah. So these are slip leashes, training leashes. They're called Loba leashes after this lady here. If anybody wants to get one, they're only $2.50 today, and I'm going to do a quick demonstration for anybody who wants to see how they work. I'll do it here in a minute.
Slip leashes are amazing. If you can train to use a slip leash, it will change your life.
It's all about communication, guys.
Chang over here walks 3 big dogs, all with slip leashes.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna
All right. Thank you so much, guys.